Oh,
Say hi.
what's up, Blue?
Hi,
Oh,
Todd.
wow.
Hi,
He looks
Todd.
like a puppy. What's he, like a year old?
Like, yeah, he is a puppy.
Yeah, he looks like a puppy. You got a new
Yeah.
place or what? You got
No, I'm
feels.
actually in my ex-husband's house because it's a nicer house for filming.
Oh, wow. Cool. Well, that's nice. That is a nicer house for filming.
Yeah, it's my old family home. It's
No
better for
kidding.
filming. Yeah, so I come down here and film.
That's cool. Y'all can
Good,
still,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm still mum with the dog. Okay. Do
Here,
I
you
put
can.
that go live on my channel? Do I do
Here,
that?
let me tag it for you. Hang on.
Okay,
I'll tag it. Just one second. We're already live, yeah. So hang
cool.
on. It takes a little bit though. We're not, our notifications aren't going out. We're getting
Yeah.
kind of suppressed, but that's cool. No big deal.
I wonder
Whatever.
why.
Zoe-Anna Bell. Okay, we got it.
Yeah,
Tag.
I put it
Tag.
in a Zoe so that it's easier when you're chatting to me just
Yeah,
to
that's cool.
use Zoe.
We got 14 people in the house. They're coming. We still got another
Yeah.
minute. So
Do I need
what's been going on?
do
What's
I this
been
little thing at the top here, it says go live on your channel. Do I press that?
you could. I don't know.
Yeah.
Try it. What happens? Is it Facebook or is it Restream?
Yeah, Facebook. Oh, hang on a minute. I'll leave it because it's taking me out somewhere.
I hear something.
That's an aeroplane going
Oh,
over.
I was gonna say that's weird. Hey, Lisa's in the hospital bed over in Stavanger, so healing peace and love and
Oh,
comfort to you, whatever's going on.
oh, yeah, sending love.
So what's
So I
happening, Zoe? It's been what, probably 4 or 5 months since we talked. I mean,
think it's longer.
nothing's really happened since then, has it?
I don't know, like 7 years, 10 years.
I don't know.
I,
God.
it's like, but then it feels like yesterday as well. It's
How
not.
about February? February was a
Yeah,
quite a piece of work. It was.
yeah, and a lot of. I felt like defragmentation, like this, uh, or I didn't even want to post anything. I didn't even want to talk. I couldn't. I'd go to post. I'd go and shoot a video, and then I'd be like, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
A lot of really going into deeper shadow work. That's what it's been. It's been this, which is, felt divine for layers and layers of allowing more of the shadow stuff. I can't even tune into the other stuff because I don't have space for it.
I know. It's like it's no problem staying in your own lane because it's you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And I've noticed like since this started like in October, like something started going down like 10-10.
Uh-huh.
And
Mm-hmm.
we always do, we've probably averaged over the years. So like, because we're like around 3,100, 3,200 episodes, probably like 65 shows in a month. I mean, there's months we've done 95 and there's shows that we've done probably like 55, but I want to say like December, January, and February, it's like 45. And to me, it feels okay. Like that feels like the whole energy, the way the whole thing is. Like
Yeah.
everything's kind of slowing down, a lot of time with yourself, a lot of shadows coming up. But from the 22nd of February, it feels like we're at the ball. We're at the
Mhm.
coronation. Like
Yeah.
especially the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's been on that note you were saying about, not producing as much and that real stepping back. I think people's digestibility, they weren't able to digest stuff anyway. So even if you were doing more than that, people couldn't actually absorb it. So our nervous systems have been going through this massive reset, and a lot of seeds being planted in November, December, and then this letting them be, this really place of allowing. And then it's now that those seeds are coming into co-creations, collaborations, and it's
Yeah.
all very organic. And easeful. So this week has been very busy. I think this is the third chat that I've had this week. So I was calling in for more of that. And then I was like, oh, wow. I mean, like 3's a lot for me. You do what, 50, like 90 a month? That's insane.
We were doing like 65 or 70, really. That was about our average. But like I said, it's dropped to like 45. It feels like this month it's filling up pretty good. And it feels like energetically it's building up. Like almost like right up to the 22nd of February was just, I don't even know. You say this like ripping the last shadows out, or the the hardest shell of shadow on your soul. I don't know how to explain it, but there seem to be a lot of people, and still is a lot of people I have talked about how much they're sleeping, how they're sleeping during the day, and and the impact on the body, which has been really crazy since COVID hit. These last 2 years.
That's been an interesting. The sleeping is. I remember going way back 2019. That was a lot of sleeping in the afternoons and having lots of little daytime sleeps, and it feels back there again. More upgrades, right? More downloading. A lot more. My vision as well has been getting blurred again. Walking around and everything's got this blurredness to it. I'm like, that could be, well, it's blurring on purpose. So I'm staying really in that center. I'm not really seeing the other stuff.
Yeah. Does it feel like it's kind of hazy to you?
Yeah, it's hazy.
Like when you say blurry,
hazy.
Like this is how I feel. I feel like I'm, and I don't know if I'm confused because like I feel like I'm out of my body. I'm more in my body.
Yeah.
Or I feel like I'm more in my body on this show than the previous two. But if I had to describe what I'm feeling, because it doesn't feel exactly the same as being out of my body, it's like there's a haze on my peripheral. And I know that's not just visual. It's more than visual. It's more of an energetic thing.
Yes. I'm actually thinking back to when we chatted last time, because I think we were both coming out of not being able to string words together.
And speaking of that, have you, one thing that's happened to me the last few weeks is my creativity is coming back after being kind of dormant for a couple of years, at least artistically. And it's been coming in, and it's very cool. It's like very, very cool. It comes and it goes. But when I get into it, it's like there's no time. I stayed up till like 5 o'clock in the morning the other day, and I just started writing stuff, and I forgot what time it was. It's 5 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday night. I needed to go to bed because I had early shows. But have you had that? Have you had any surge in creativity?
Yeah, I've had surge. I've created a new website, and I'm not an IT person. I suddenly became this IT geek overnight. It was like I needed to get shit done, and got so much done in 6 days that, it was almost just got it done, and it was created, and had fun in that process as well. And a lot of new creativity, or not new, it's more like a refinement of creativity. So I've been exploring movement and storytelling through my movement while I'm on the floor, and creating it so it's almost like a storytelling with inside a box, and sharing. So there's lots of downloads coming with that, with how, and then I'm going to weave that in to guide others how to release their trauma, share their story through movement in their own expression, because we know we release through our bodysuit. And so that's been flowing through, and that feels fresh, and yet it's always been there since I was little, if that makes sense. It's like
It does.
Again.
Yeah, it does. That does make sense.
And pure and creative and expansive, and no longer, not any of this doubt, but very. I find creativity hard to switch off, Todd. Even Nick said that to me the other day. We chatted the other day, and he said something about creativity, and I went, the challenge is actually switching it off.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. And the
Yeah.
reference to the little kid in us.
Mhm.
Like I've been and it's not even been on purpose. It just keeps popping in. Like do you remember these moments? And it was more of like the feeling of the moment,
Mhm.
taken back. And there's some, there's something to be said for that with what's happening. So what you're saying is, this is really cool. So what you're saying is you lay on the ground and you do movement and you
Mhm.
story tell.
Mm.
So, I mean, to me, that's very appealing because it's involving pretty much all the, physical expressions or parts of you that you have. You got the movement, you got the voice, you got the story, you got the channel open. So, have you filmed any of that?
Yes, I filmed two of them off the bat. Actually mounted my camera up on my tripod, up on my pyramid. So I do it inside a copper pyramid.
Wow.
And yeah, off the bat have created them, and I've got two on my page. So there's no sound, there's no voice. I actually tuning more and more into silence, and as much as I love expressing through my voice as well, I find a lot of it can get lost. And that really being present with the movement, and there's no thinking about it, it's really being in that flow. And then
Right.
I watch it back and I'm like, wow.
So
Oh,
the storytelling is nonverbal, but yeah.
non-verbal, more
Okay.
with my expression,
Right.
and
Right.
that,
Okay.
so that
Cool.
that real contraction, expansion. And
Have you had anybody else try it? Have you had any friends do it with you?
not yet.
Yeah. You should do
I've
that.
got, yeah,
You should
I've
do
got,
that on a you should do that on a Zoom. Get like 10
yes.
people. That would be interesting.
Mm.
I think that's what's happening too is we have these traditional ritualistic memories or processes that somebody remembers, and we get around a fire, we do this, we do that, or even like modalities, such as yoga and stuff. But I really think that there's a lot of remix kind of in the frequency, like
Mhm.
our experience as humans, kind of, and even our identity now, like the
Yeah,
good part of the ego, like that's tuned in and remixing what we've already experienced and or observed.
yeah. It actually feels like, and I've had people say this to me, I've played with movement and light language and allowed that to come through in my movement. And then people have fed back and said, whoa, that's like codes.
Right.
I'm getting a instant sacral awakening or stirring, or something shifts in their body. So I'm like, oh, isn't that interesting? And then bringing that in. So I feel we all have these divine codes, then that's what's coming into now, is like all the codes are starting, oh, that harmonizes with that, and we all fit in. So we can do something very similar, but the codes are very different that are flowing through us. And
Right.
I feel we're moving into this time, I feel, where the English language becomes even more limiting. I don't know if you felt this, but sometimes
Yeah.
I, I love the feeling into the space with no words, or if the words, it's light language or whatever term, soul language.
Toning.
Toning's the
Yeah.
big one, and that resonance. So we're really tuning into that resonance field beyond,
Mhm.
rather than getting limited in the English language.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. Absolutely. So maybe that's why the shows have dropped from 65 to 45 in 3 months. Maybe that's like a symbol or a physical representation of more of a nonverbal kind of communication system. I guess we know telepathy's expanding. Um, it just feels to me like there's a lot more people involved now by leaps and bounds since maybe September, October. I know, like in October, there was a huge kind of thing that seemed to build with the masculine, like that kind of came to its apex in January. And I know that you've done a lot of videos and you're very open and you've talked very openly about your masculinity and your femininity and your sacred sexuality and, you know, like from an individual standpoint and
Mhm.
with what you do. Were you sensitive to any changes or what changes between the masculine and feminine energy, like during, say, October through now? Like, were you noticing anything that kind of stands out? Were you picking up on anything?
I can't actually think back.
Yeah.
I've noticed with as like this overcompensation in some of the masculine. I've really noticed some of that coming out. That there's a same with the feminine as well. There's a mismatch with who they're saying that they're being, and yet their actions that are then following from that. So I've had quite a few instances of that. I know it's been interesting, and then seeing, well, if what's that showing me within myself, and is there an aspect within myself that's still, and to see, I know, like if there's any mismatch with what someone is saying that they're embodying, and then how they're being, it's really, really clear now.
Yeah.
Like if it's not in alignment, it's really showing up in alignment.
Yeah. I think that's happening in every aspect of our existence now. It's like everything, you know what I mean? It's not just in ourselves, but obviously we observe it as well. But I mean, and it's moving very rapidly. I mean, like I love this comment by Jennifer Sampson. She's been with Damo for a long time. Damo's been a brute the last few weeks. He has work to do, and yet here I am, hearts, 2 kisses. But I mean, I think there's some element of that. Like there feels like there's a newer equilibrium, and there's some kind of settling there. And like I'm like you, and I guess like everybody, you know, we eventually you take it into yourself, and I can't really tell what's going on. I mean, Morgan will even tell me because she's sensitive to that stuff, and I don't really get it because you know you really got to get something in your own way, I guess. But I have seen it in this creativity thing, and I've been doing some stuff by myself and tuning in. I guess my way of doing what you do when you lay on the floor and tell the story, and I notice that there is an equal presence of this feminine within me that's fully there, and and what happens is I catch myself going into patterns which are expressed by a voice or a beat or a tempo or a phrasing, and get past that. That's that feminine energy. Like, no, we've done this. Let's do something new. Let's channel, inspire, express whatever your connection with, you know, whatever love, divine love, unconditional love, infinite. I don't know. That's the only thing I've really picked up on in myself. Not so much how we got here, but I can definitely feel it and I can sense it, and it feels pretty good.
Yeah, I feel in a beautiful harmony in equal amounts with my divine masculine and my divine feminine.
Yeah.
And for me, where I'm at personally, like I'm really calling in to being matched in that divine union within self, but also within a physical being. And yeah, so it feels good to call that in. So I've had a lot of people, you know, I think I call them distractions or warm-ups. I've been really clear in my no, and really expressing that. And yeah, I know a lot of people have been, a lot of sisters I know, they've also been calling that in and really feeling it. And also being in that stage of I feel so complete in myself that even if that didn't come along, it really doesn't shift anything for me on the inside.
Right.
And that feels a really magical place to be in, that place of really full allowing and to really feel into the full bandwidth of the all. So they're all in one now, and this dance of really feels a stepping up of learning how to really flip between the two, but even it doesn't even feel like there's any separation of that now.
Yeah. It's weird. Like I was saying, it's like I can feel her, whatever it is. It's like a mutual decision of creativity. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
I can't explain it.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing it in people, and I'm seeing it in men. Like it's come on fast.
Yeah.
Like showing the part of the masculine heart that's been shut down, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Something like that.
Mm.
So you've been doing any writing or rapping or anything?
I've been doing a little bit of freestyle. I've been doing some writing. I've a lot of more poetry. I do
Yeah.
love poetry.
Yeah.
That for me is channeling, as you know, it's channeling pure source and
Yeah. Yeah. I
and
think
then
there's. Yeah. No, I'm
yeah.
sorry. There's a lag. Go ahead.
No, and yeah, I published some books and things like that. But even that, like I got to the end of it, I was like, oh yeah, like there's no
Yeah, I know. It's like okay. So
like,
that's what happens to me. I'm turn on an instrument. I'll write some stuff, turn on some music, instrumental,
yeah,
and I'll start exploring my voice, phrasing, everything put together, and like what you're talking about. And I'll do one, and they're all like one take, and I'll record
yeah,
it,
yeah,
and then I'll be like,
always.
"That's pretty good, but no. That's pretty good, but no. That's pretty good, but no." And I never go back to the same one twice
Mhm.
because once it's done, and what I'm realizing is it's kind of interesting because I might play 12 different instrumentals, all different tempos, beats, and styles. They're all like jazzy hip hop and classical hip hop, and and so every one of them's a new experience. And I'm wondering as I'm doing this, oh, is this how it's going to be? You don't do like a song or a soul speak and you do it the same way every time. You don't do it that way. And I'm speaking like metaphorically, right? I'm thinking,
Mhm.
is this why I'm going through this? Is this why I can't find one that I would want to share? You know, like it's because it's not good enough or something's not right about it. And I wonder if that's how it's going to go. It's like every experience we have is going to be like literally like waking up to a new day because this energy is crazy.
It
I mean,
is.
it's wild.
Mhm.
It really is.
There's no hiding with the energy.
Hell no, there's no hiding.
You say you put the music to the backing when you do it.
Yeah.
Well, I've not worked out how to actually do that with recording on my phone. So even when I'm, the movement is done in silence, and
Right.
then afterwards I'm like, oh, let me find me some music, and then I'll put it together, and I don't even edit it, and then I listen to it, and I'm like, oh, it all works synchronistically. There you go. That's divine.
Exactly. Exactly. That's how it works. That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
But I love walking along. Sometimes you get those moments and you just feel that freestyling. And sometimes if I'm the poetic tonality and the rapping is coming through, then whenever I have a conversation with others, I keep going into that. There's this like,
I used to do that. I used to do that all the time, and it
yeah.
and it kind of went away like 2 years ago. And what I'm finding now is it's starting again. And when I do what I'm doing now, writing or freestyling, I can't use the words I used to use, and I can't use the styles I used to use. and it's this
Mm,
whole new thing, and it's pretty cool. But it's also,
cool.
I can see the pace of it is slow, like truly embodying, like truly connecting with the different parts of you, the multi dimensionality of the human. You know, the throat
Mm.
chakra, the resonance of the throat, the level of the tone, the pace. I mean, that's just one example, but I think that's what's happening. We're getting more and more in tune, and there's going to be some pretty cool stuff happen from that.
This is really cleared out. Has been really clearing. It's still clearing. I can feel it.
Higher heart or throat?
Throat.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally get that. Yeah, I
I
totally
have
get that.
to clear my throat. That's why the
Yeah.
toning has been so good for my throat, for actually warming it and opening it up. Actually, I did have the Omicron. It's quite interesting because I observed going into that process and real surrendering. And actually, it was around my heart. And I do actually believe that it went exactly to my heart to release the block. So it released some energetic blocks. So I lay there for 2 days feeling like
Should.
heart pain and heaviness. And it was that real, staying grounded and present, my breathing and meditation, and allowing and releasing and letting it go, and really feeling the container, the rigidness of protection I had around my heart. And in that process of surrender and allowing, then it started to clear, and then the cough started, and then the throat was really catching, and that was like over about 2 weeks. It was like, it will resolve, and it did. And I've noticed with other people where they've had certain areas in their body impacted, I've said to them, maybe it's a cleansing and a clearing for that aspect of your body, for what is going to come through, like this purification process.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good word, purification. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I know that's been used a lot going back to,
Yeah.
whatever, but yeah, and because there's no choice. I can't even relate, and I know there's other perspectives, but I can't even relate to not feeling this. And I would think that everybody's feeling it. They might be looking at it in a different way. They might be looking at it through the eyes of just the drama of their family and friends, or their, you know what I mean? There could be a lot of things, but I can't think that there's not going to be some serious physical manifestations, occurrences, events, situations that are going to speak to the energy, or the work, or the transformational um, aspect of the energy that we've already done. Like, this is done energetically, and I know people get carried away with that, but I mean, like, say very recently, whatever we're clearing in the physical and integrating happened, a few weeks ago, or whatever it is. And all I'm saying is, I think there's going to be some events that are going to be like miraculous to a degree, or have a miraculous, aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
It would only make sense.
Yeah. It does feel done. It's like the slate, like
Yeah.
not even having much memory of. I found over the last 12 months bits of my past becoming even more. That's why I'm glad I actually got them all down for others to read, not for me. But yeah, let this wiping of no longer having really any recollection of it, that it didn't even exist. And that feels so freeing in itself.
True.
But yeah, it's done.
So a lot of people I talk to, that, you know, the whole partner, counterpart, twin, whatever people want to call whatever, but it's interesting talking to them like you, because they have this kind of evolution and relationship and journey through themselves, which we all do. I get that. But, that's a very powerful transformation. That's a very powerful, enhancement of your alignment. And I know people have had a lot of different kinds of experiences. Have you felt like a masculine presence? Have you felt like an energy, like, when you're in communion or meditating or in dream state, or have you felt anything or experienced anything?
Yes, I've experienced, which I would describe as my higher self, with a masculine being, non-physical being, last year.
Well,
An intimate, it was an intimate, is that incestual if it's your twin? I don't know.
yeah, is that what incestual?
No, it's
No,
all one, right? Yeah, it was, yeah, and I feel this real masculine presence around me 24/7 and within me, this real sensing of that real. I mean, my understanding is my higher self is my twin.
yeah, that's what at the end of the day, one is one. Yeah, I get that. I always say the universe is my twin. Is my
Oh, I
twin
like
flame.
that.
But
Yeah.
I mean, but I get it. But I mean, it's like I think the great thing about oneness is because you can access so many different, um, and it's the same thing. And to do it in a very dense form, right, in a dense realm, along with everything else that we're doing. I mean, all our relationships with the physical, what we call the physical world, the external world, as a human, we're finding that all the connections are changing, right? Like with
Mhm.
plants, with animals.
Yeah.
I mean, um, just there's just something going on.
Mm.
Have you? How's it been going as far as like fluctuations? I mean, there was a lot of us, and I think you were one that went through fluctuations financially, where we lived, relationships. I mean, there was a lot of that stuff going on in 2012, like through maybe 15, 16, 17. I don't know, it could still be going on. But a lot of people are starting to level off, even though there's fluctuations every day, almost
Mhm.
like they're in a bubble. I call it the Forrest Gump bubble. And it's building kind of an impervious nature to it, to things that, almost like the third energy has collaborated with our field and is forming I want to say like a shield or whatever,
Yeah,
Merkaba. I don't know.
definitely feels like that. Felt like that more and more last year, almost being in a bubble. And now that more of that trusting and that allowing is things are being brought to us, a lot of that. And so it's felt like the years have been a lot about learning how to trust and then shift into faith
Yeah.
of being supported. And they're all initiations of there's still moments where I could have that come up, and then I look at it and then ask myself, well, what is it inviting me to? What am I holding on too tightly? And then releasing that to allow what is coming in.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
is moment to moment. It's moment to moment. I find it challenging to even plan ahead and always have to tune into, well, how am I actually feeling on that day? And if I'm not feeling it, I don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of that going on. And I think with the sleeping and the
Yeah.
naps, people, including myself, are going, there was a time, especially like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, what are you doing? You need to do something. Get up and do something. And I
Yeah.
was like, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you can almost, you know, codes coming in or whatever, photonic light or whatever, and you can feel it in your body. You're tired. You get tired quick. I mean, indisputable. And to me, it felt like it really accelerated a lot, which going back to the word, purification, it was like almost like it got pushed as far as it could, as fast as it could, before a certain point, which may have
Yeah.
been that gateway of the 22.
Yeah, it was intense.
I know it was.
And even the gateway, the 22, there were a lot of offers to go and sit in groups. I was like, I just need to be by myself.
Right.
You
No, I
know?
don't think so.
No, even, people were heading down to Canberra and there was a lot of stuff. And I was like,
Oh, that's right.
I need to be in
So
my little.
that happened in February, Canberra.
Yeah, I think it was
So
February.
where are you at?
Sydney.
Oh, you're in Sydney. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Wow.
I need to be in my little hermit. There's work to be done, and really wanted to keep my field clear.
Right.
That was me personally. And a lot of sleeping. I wouldn't have been able to, I didn't even want to talk to anyone. I wouldn't have been able to be like, blah, blah, blah.
I haven't.
I was yawning the whole time.
Exactly. I haven't been able to talk to people. I haven't wanted to talk to people
No.
for probably almost a month.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult. Like I just, and it's nothing personal. I can barely tie my shoes and I wear boots and have no shoestrings. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It seems to be where whatever it was in February seems to be kind of wearing off, almost like you went into a pool and the water's starting to like dry, your skin's drying up, like you're getting clear. I found that I was telling Morgan, yesterday, I don't know much about what we should do. I mean, they talk about drinking water and different things, but taking a shower, like there's something about taking a shower that's like my go-to.
Yep.
Just even if it's the middle of the afternoon and I can't get off the couch or something's going on, whatever, I just get into the shower. That seems to help.
Yeah. Actually, looking at someone wrote there about dreams. I want to mention a dream that I had 2 nights ago, which feels really relevant to what's coming up.
Cool.
So I actually had a dream that I was in an airplane, and the airplane kept going up really high and then going down really low, and then it started going into like what you'd think would be a plane crash. And it was interesting sitting there, and I'm watching it and looking out the window, and they're managing to control the plane, and the plane actually lands on this windy road. So we land safely. And then I find myself in this airport, and there's lots of different things going on, and I get taken off in another direction, and I'm looking out the window of the airport, and I can see this bright blue, azure blue, like almost paradise looking ocean. And they're like, "You're at St. Lucia." And I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." But the message I got from that was, we're going to go through these real ups and downs, and we're always going to come back to being grounded. And the fact that we landed and you're still alive and you didn't die from the crash means there's going to be like huge things coming your way, like huge, everything we've been preparing for and putting in the work behind closed doors is now coming into this. But we will have a few of these ups and downs, and to stay grounded and alert as we go through it. That was the message.
Curl up in a ball if you have to, right?
Yeah, even in a little ball and rock yourself. That's super.
Whatever you have to do to stay in love. I mean, just to stay in love. You can't, and I know that sounds cliche, but I mean, I know I can speak to the last 8 or 9 months. My level and speed of self-forgiveness and forgiveness for judgment, or even judging myself, like it's not just a matter of me picking up on it now, it's a matter of me bringing it into alignment, or whatever you want to call it, integrating it where it doesn't give me a charge. Boom. And I know that's got to be happening for people. That's a powerful alteration to the energetic field when people are moving through shadow and programming and conditioning at the pace that we are. The outcome of that is probably beyond any of our comprehension. The trajectory of this type of evolution, which is a consciousness evolution, and what it will create in our physical reality is to me, that's mind blowing.
It's huge.
It's like being in a fantasy movie and we're all the stars. It's just like, whoa.
Yeah. When we can all be in that self-responsibility for our reactions, responses, to come into that neutral point more and more, then it's almost like, it's like when everyone on the planet meditates, and wherever someone's meditating, the Maharishi effect, where that shifts the consciousness. It doesn't matter where you're sitting and meditating, it's always going to be that time somewhere else on the world, on the earth. So it's like when we all come into that not being able to be swayed or reacted, we're looking at that and we're bringing it into loving compassion and forgiveness and kindness and love, then the impact, it's like this shock wave that almost like it will go like pew. And
like
everything will be different.
Yeah, like saying no when you want to say no, accepting no, and not taking it personal. Respecting the other perspectives. Beyond like just lip service. There's all these little things that are happening that are to me evidence that this is really going on. We're not all just making this thing up.
We are in a game, though. It's like being in a game.
Absolutely. It is a game.
Yeah.
It is a game. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be over. I try to slow myself down. It's gotten easier. And again, I think it's got to be happening to other people, because I think it has a direct effect, obviously, on how the experience goes. If I can let go, and being separated from geographically, physically, from Morgan has helped, as everything offers opportunities and potentials, but it's helped me a lot to put time and space in a different place, which is now doing something for my creativity. I don't know, the I don't know, the range of my vibration. I don't know how to explain it, but
I get it.
I think these little things that we have done at a very human level, almost mundane level, such as shadow work, like you said, it's starting to pay off. Like it's starting to materialize in some way.
Yeah.
So, you want to do a little something? You feel like doing anything? What do you feel like doing?
No, I'm just seeing what people have written.
Oh, I don't know. I can barely see your.
I'm trying to think what else.
Simon House account is go no for my walk. I am walking every day, and while I out walking, I am gang stalking. The look, he's doing a little rap. Whatever you want to do. If you want to do the storytelling, or you want to just like, I don't know, you want to do meditation or something creative. I don't know why I brought it up. Otherwise, I don't normally do that.
Do some freestyling. What's your freestyling?
You can do some freestyling. I can try. I can try to compliment it, and I don't know.
But, I don't know if I'm feeling the freestyling right now.
Well, if you're not, you're not. Poetry's cool. Poetry's all right.
What else?
What's that?
Yeah. I feel, actually feels complete. I'm getting this.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I'm actually listening to that and tuning into that more and more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually feels good to say, actually feels complete. And I don't think I've got can I wave that? I'll wave that. That's a thing that came out.
Yeah. Soul codes.
Remembering your mission. So it's like a galactic guide to really staying grounded in different ways so you can be present and navigate the shitstorm that's all happening. People beginning or the middle of your journey.
Yeah.
Some ways that you can balance your mind, really tune into your body to release tension and really connect with your soul.
Yeah.
As
Have
the way
you?
we are.
Well, for a long time, several times, and
Yeah.
I just got rid of it. It was like writing a book, and it's kind of come back a little bit.
Oh, a
And
poem.
but people that I know that have written books like you,
Yeah.
I would think that there would be a certain level of embodiment that would occur, almost like you're writing it for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, not that you're not writing it to share, and anything downloadable is shareable, as my friend Ty says. But like, I would think that that would be like a major download, like an
Mm-hmm.
anchoring. Was it like an
Yeah.
anchoring when you do stuff like that?
Yeah, they're massive downloads where even when I read it now, I'm like, oh, who wrote that?
Yeah.
That sounds really weird, especially the poetry. Someone wrote poetry, rap. I'll actually read a poem from here because it feels very
There you
alive
go. Yeah,
right
there
now,
you go.
if
There
you
you
want.
go. Yeah.
Oh, let me find another one. Yeah, it does. It definitely feels downloaded. It was a burning feeling and knowing that I needed to get it out and start writing it. And the poetry was a big part of that, of being able to have the range to share a story
Right.
by using poetry as a vehicle. As then it breaks the whole rules of what you should do, or specific grammar of it having to be a certain way. I'm looking for a poem now, and actually really getting the head out of the way
Right.
and being a channel, as you know, for source to flow through. I'm looking for a poem. I'm not sure if there's many poems in this one.
So take your time. Take your time.
No excuses. That's a good one.
There
In
you
case
go.
people still have the excuses can come in. They can be sneaky little patterns. No excuses. If money was unlimited, what would you be? Your scars dissolved, infused a fresh possibility. What would you be? Imagine a state free from the judgment, free from the hate, a self created insanity, a distorted reality, a bullshit excuses. Now, who is the muse? Imagine being 5 or 6, unlimited imagination, not giving a shit, no longer a hostage of your mind of bullshit, a victim of your circumstance. Who cares? Stop blaming, cursing, and pointing. Fuck that negative shaming. Start to dream a bit and keep building your vision. Every day commit to grow. Come apart in tears, make getting up your mission. Repeat and never give up. Be inspired to follow your bliss, ducking and weaving others fucked up bullshit. Your choices and dreams, your newfound reality be the change it's all awaiting. No more excuses. You are love, light, and light love, as the only real fight is within. Work on your vibe, call out to your tribe, people that inspire you to love you and guide you. Never to catch do again, to hold you accountable as you grow and explore, to reveal your divinity, raw authenticity, rare beauty blossoming, and never ever be hidden within again.
That's pretty intense. That's your style, though. You're intense.
Yeah, apparently that's what I get told. It's not.
No,
It's
yeah, I mean, and
yeah,
I've noticed that in myself because a lot of the stuff I did early on, not all of it. Some of it was soft, and there was different variations, but there was this intense warrior like thing going on. And now when I'm doing this, even when I write, it's like I can feel the feminine, my feminine, right? I can
Mhm.
feel it. So like I think you said this earlier. Was it you? And you were like, you can't even tell the difference. You get to this
Yeah.
space where you can't tell the difference. And I'm
Mhm.
not there, but I can feel that it's equal territory.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's almost like I've got two voices, so to speak. And one is the product of the imbalance, and one is closer to that which you described. Yeah.
I find that our gifts, what we're being guided to now, to what are the doorways to what is assisting that to balance within.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to really honor that and listen that, no matter if you think it fits in or not, simply
Right.
explore it and be curious. It feels right now we're in this time of going deeper within and really getting clear in what we're wanting to bring in and exploring and creating and being curious in that space.
Yeah.
And that old program of which I had playing out for a long time, which I had lessons around, was I don't want to share it because others are going to take it. So then I had all these lessons of then witnessing that playing out.
Yeah.
And then now just sharing it as it's
That's
there
right.
shared. And it's, it doesn't matter. We all have that unique signature. Hey, buddy, come here.
Yeah.
Say hello.
Your imprints on it. Your imprints on it.
Yeah.
And the truth is, your imprint, my imprint, it's not the only imprint on it.
Yeah.
It's actually all these different aspects up to that moment. But yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a lot to be said for, like in your case, be it alone, filming it or not, laying on the floor, doing the storytelling like you described at the top of the show, or for me to just be here by myself, turn on some music, and start exploring, right? Like there's something to be said. That type of approach might, to me, it would benefit that further union of those two frequencies, of those two, masculine and feminine. I
Yeah.
don't know. To me, that's what it feels like. I feel like it's a lot of things, but that's it. It's like, how are you going to function now, not just like this, but every day, moment by moment, as a balanced masculine and feminine?
Yeah.
And I'm not there, but
I feel the feminine, it's the feminine I've had to learn how to grow into. And others have noticed that now. They've
yeah,
stopped me and said, you look different. I haven't seen you for 6 months. And they're like, you look different.
yeah,
And again, it's easy for me to be, wow, warrior. And that comes through in, my poetry because it's coming from that raw place.
yeah,
And that true inner power is within the feminine, and that expression of allowing what needs to come through to flow through, so it feels it's really feeling into a new realm and really loving it. It seems so simple now, yet it was so complicated getting there. And
no kidding. Splintered into an infinite number of pieces that we've been picking back up all this time. But yeah, you're right. It's to me. I mean, it's like, because like what you're saying is you're softer. I'm
yeah,
softer. It doesn't mean that the warrior's not in there. It's just not the dominant taking up all the space. It's there like everything else when you need it, whatever. But to me, it's like when I'm in this process that I'm just now exploring, like 2 weeks, 2, 3 weeks, me, the mic, the music, and the words. And it's like there's something coming in that's making me aware through this exercise, if you want to call it that, the the power and the importance of the thought, the words, the frequency, or the the band of frequencies that I am, right? Like there's something coming in about how potent and powerful that is, and I know it's not just for me. I know it's not just for me. So I think there's a lot of throat chakras clearing out, so to speak.
And this, like, I was never a seer. I'd never really see. I'd have snippets. This is very clouded or blocked. Not blocked, but it's like more is opening up. The deeper I allow.
And what about Sydney? Like, let's just
Sydney.
go off. Let's go off into the collective for a second.
Sydney.
Like, what's that been like? What's that been like the last 6 months? Because I mean, Sydney and what is it? Melbourne.
Yeah.
They're like big time all over this whole COVID thing, the whole program. And now it's kind of seems to be dying away. But is it? What's going on? And like, do you have any sense of what I know you've been a hermit, like most of us, but have you got any sense of like when you go out, are you noticing any change, or do you even notice anything?
For the whole time, I think I've said this before. When I go out, I'm going out in a little bubble. Yeah. And my intention every time I go out is to shift the playing field, some shape or form, simply by acknowledging, connecting, saying hello to people. So I felt, I feel very blessed in our community. It's only 6 minutes from the CBD, and it's almost like this community within itself. And I do feel people are really starting to see where things are at more and more.
Yeah.
I've never really conformed anytime anyway in life. So it didn't feel anything different by not conforming to what the general flow was. And I seemed to go under the radar or be invisible by playing with your own rules, right?
I think there's some truth to that. That's the bubble, the Forrest Gump bubble I'm referring to. I mean,
and because you're not putting out that frequency of, oh my gosh, I'm doing something wrong. I would actually literally go up to people that were working in the shops and have a conversation with them and go, oh, by the way, do you know where such and such is? They don't know where it is. And obviously and they wouldn't even say anything because they were having connection and they weren't feeling any animosity or anger coming through in that. So it's been a really beautiful to look at my own judgment. Look at my own way. It's easy for me to be the martyr and all of that bullshit that goes with it and drop all of that.
Yeah.
So people's focus is shifted right now. But I have beautiful conversations with people in my community, and I've really got to the point, I really don't care what people have done. I don't care what their choices are.
True.
True. That we're here to, and, I've got so much closer with my own family because remember what is really important. It's love. And putting your opinions to one side.
As you Australians say, don't be a sticky nose.
Australians have become like really whingy and complaining, and they're sounding a lot like the Poms.
The who?
British, the Poms.
What do you call them? The Palms?
Poms.
PALMS?
POM. Poms. POMS.
That doesn't
the
sound
English.
Like
That's what
Palms.
the Aussies call
the Palms.
English.
No, I mean,
So nothing's really changed. Like, I've got places I go to, and because they know you in the community, there was this secret code. I was always allowed in there. I was never refused. It was like, well, I'm a regular. I always come in here, and of course I can come in here. So there was a lot of rule bending and.
Yeah, because you're probably walking in you're probably walking in a hologram. Where it's being projected from some village in the 1600s, and everybody knows who you are because you're the Wiccan.
Yeah. They're like, come in, have your table. What table would you like? It's very much. I feel very blessed where I am, and there's a lot of people that are looking really scared and. No, now people are starting to ask, oh, what actually do you do? Not really knowing what I do or, all of that.
Yeah, I think all that stuff's going to come out.
Yeah.
There's so many people, and I think
Oh,
they're. I don't. I mean, when you're getting downloaded and you're transforming, and I understand we're all challenged by the ego, but you feel guided to serve and share some aspect of what you're receiving, however that comes out. I think there's a lot to be said for that because that's some good intention. And I know we all have ego and we all have shadows, but at the heart of it all, that's some really good intention. You know what I mean? That's not like somebody taking in code and downloaded information and going, "Oh, I'm going to keep this to myself." You know, even people that aren't like on the screen, that so many of these ladies been doing grid work for years or just doing energetic work from their bedroom, you know, uh, that's sharing. So I think there's a lot of that energy going on, where
mm,
people are waking up and they want to share their experience, no different than all of us as it's happened to us.
mm,
Hmm.
yeah, it's beautiful. It's a real beautiful ripple effect. And it's not about leaving anyone behind as well. It's there for everyone to
Yeah,
pick
there's
themselves up and jump on.
yeah, and that's another thing too. Like, what's there? There is no behind to be left to.
No,
It's like that. Some things don't make sense
well,
anymore.
now,
You know what I mean? So it's just like, wait a minute, what does that mean? What does it mean that some people will stay and some will go? And I still like, oh, everyone's going to make it. Like I catch myself going, wait a minute, what's there to make? We're good. We're
yeah,
playing. We're playing. We're on a stage.
yeah,
We're just whatever you want to call it, but it's life. It's living in a I don't know. It feels pretty special. I feel very excited and encouraged about where we're headed,
hmm,
and it's good to see you again. And I really appreciate how it's so amazing talking to people. And I know people already look at me and say the same thing, but seeing people over the last few months, like today, I talked to two other people, three really, that I hadn't seen in a long time, and you can see the difference. I
mm,
mean, this is very cool when we can start to see, like we say, see myself in that other person, or see we're the same or whatever. And it's not people that you would think.
mm,
But because it's becoming more and more and more people every day, so
mm,
it's just more of a frequency thing.
mm.
So hey, I wish you the best, and
Oh,
good luck on your book, and good luck
thank
on everything that you're doing, and all blessings to you and your family and to your little soulmate there. What's his name?
blue.
Blue. Yeah, good
Yeah,
name. Good
blue.
name.
Yeah,
Very
one
good
blue
name.
eye. So
Well, you take care. Thanks everybody. It's our last
thank
show of the
you.
day.
So much love.
You take care. It's good